Industrial relations in high performance work systems. In India, there are about 24.89% of the people working directly in industries. That is, of the 1.38 billion people, that is 138 crores of people, 34.3 crores are directly employed in industries. It is very natural that they form trade unions, go for collective bargainings, and then claim unfair trade practices, resulting in disputes, and finally landing on the standing orders. That is the conditions of employment. In India, we have the judiciary as the pillar of constitution. Hence, it has a lot of legal enactments which has to be followed. Right from 1926 Trade Union Act, 1936 Payment of Wages Act, 1946 Standing Orders Act, 1947 Disputes Act, 1948 Factories Act, 1948 Payment of Wages Act, 1961 Maternity Act, 1965 Bonus Act, 1972 Gratuity Act. Like that, we have a lot of enactments that keeps on going for amendments both in state as well as in central. Be wherever this institution or the organization is fixed, that enactment applies to this group of people who are employed in industries. So when does this law come into play? It is infused only upon when there is a kind of a command and then there is a subordination. So it to protect the person with a less collective bargaining power, so that he does not be weakened because of the superiority or the command of the organization. So how to protect this? So that is where the 1946 standing orders came into place. But this standing order goes with acts and omissions. Acts and omissions meaning that whatever you do which is wrong or whatever you did not do resulted in a wrong, results in a misconduct. So misconducts can be insubordination, indiscipline, dishonesty, disorderly, willful disobedience. It can be theft, gratification, breach of conduct, many things, whichever is a negative form, leading to the invokement of 1947 Disputes Act, where you go in with suspension, dismissal, termination, or if in a case of group, then you go in with lockout, retrenchment, closure, and all those stuff. Okay, this is the way the industries have been controlled, or they have been maintaining industrial relations with the workforce. But when it comes to high performance work system, this will not suffice. We need to go with a proactively managed kind of a policies, which is being accepted by both the employer and the employee. Hence, we need to go in with what is required in work and what is required off work. In work, being in time, how to present yourself, how safety you have to adhere, what are the quality parameters that you have to ensure, what are the performance standards you have to get through with, and then customer satisfaction, and how to handle your people, superior, subordinates of your group, and if you have a grievance or how to handle your dispute, and if you have any idea how to put it as a suggestion, all these things come as in work. And off work, how to present the image of the organization be better seen by the people around and in the society. These are all the positive things. See, in industrial relations of a normal industry where the misconduct is being punished, here whatever is being done or continued should be motivated. Hence, it should be proactively managed and it should be rewarded when it is being followed. So how much organizations are budgeting itself towards creating a kind of a continuation of good conduct in the organization, high performance work systems will come into a better scenario of its existence. How to create smile in the people is better than how to create silence in the acts and omissions as we see in Standing Orders and Disputes Act. Hence, if you want to have industrial relations better displayed in high performance work systems, how to encourage people to be more participative, engaged, and creating smile will lead to a healthy environment.